What type of a listener are you? Effective listening is our topic today, and today we put you on the spot. There are 4 types of listeners, and I will start from the bottom up. Non-listeners are the first type of listeners we shall address. If you find yourself trying to turn conversations about you, even when they are not about you, you are a non-listener. They have a tendency of preferring to hear themselves talk, and they fake attention. And usually, they would break conversations with questions and have very fake responses. Like, yes, I understand, even when they do not. The second type of listeners are evaluative listeners. These are very prejudiced listeners. By the time a speaker has said their first 2 words, you have decided if you will listen to them or not. And this happens a lot in the career spaces or professional spaces. So the type of content or the message will determine whether you will listen to the speaker or not. They are very close to non-listeners because if they do not find the message relevant, or if they don't judge the message as relevant to them or useful to them, then they switch off and become non-listeners. Evaluative listeners tend to only concentrate if they find the matter in their own judgment useful to them. This means that even if this message would have helped them later on, whether they knew it or not, they would lose out on it because they judge it by the first 10 seconds of a speaker's presentation. Type 3 are the passive listeners. These are very controversial, largely because they can fake attention and they can actually be attentive. They lose concentration when they feel the message is no longer useful to them. So what happens is they are generally very unresponsive and will only have involvement, whether through inquiry, questions, or response, when they are alert to something that is a trigger to them. Passive listeners have almost no engagement with the speakers. This is because their concentration is only directly proportional to words or triggers they consider useful to them. The best and the last type of listeners are the active listeners. These are sensitive listeners to the message and to the speaker. They will ask questions, they will ask leading questions, they will inquire. You will learn and observe that their body language and their facial expressions is engaging to the matter, and a lot of the times they will relate the matter that they are listening to their own personal experiences. These rarely lose concentration, and even if they do not consider the matter relevant to them, they are always open and willing to learn. Being an active listener makes you a better debater and a better public speaker because in one way or another, you always get to learn what you didn't anticipate, and even if it is not a message that you generally consider important or relevant to you, whether professionally or socially, there will always be a moment in time when what you learned or what you listened to some time back becomes useful. What type of listener are you?